Hey guys, it's me, Alexander Jarvis from alexanderjarvis.com, and this is the 6th video I've made on the free training course on how to fill in the e-commerce financial model template. In this video, we will be dealing with staff. As usual, if you haven't done the previous sheets, at least the first 3 ones, make sure you do those first, which will give you a proper grounding. So in this video, we're going to be going through the staff sheet, and I'll be taking you through everything. So it may seem like it's fairly overwhelming at the start, but it's actually not really that complicated. So I've tried to make as few inputs as you need to do, but have the option to add more funky things. So just because there's an option to add in, like, increasing salaries in future does not mean you need to do it. It's just for certain people who want to have that flexibility. You can use it if you want to. So at the top, we're going to have the summary, aggregated staff costs by categories and everything. These things are going to use the sum of functions, looking for this, right? And so everything is categorized. So G&A, R&D, production, blah, blah. It says marked the cost here. So if the title is categorized here, the sum of functions is going to pull in all the costs and add them up. So this summary is what you're going to want to look at to make sure that the numbers are making sense. You see the annual basis here, which I've moved because the staff sheet has quite a lot of assumptions and I couldn't fit it in my normal format. But here we've got the monthly then. So that's just checking everything makes sense. You can look at the evolution of headcount. Does it make sense on an annual basis? Yes, no. If there's not, then there's something wrong. Okay. First assumption you're going to stick in is payrolls and taxes and benefits. This is just a percentage applied to everyone. Okay. If there are differences for specific people, just increase the salary to compensate for that, or their bonus or something. But this applies to every single person. You see it links here. This one links here. Okay. This row here is just an FYI. So it tells you in your P&L forecast, you said that you're going to raise money in the second month, okay, and this month. And so maybe you tell people that you're going to increase salary once you've gotten the money, and that's why you're stiffing on the salary. So salary here, new salary 80K on this June 2017 year. All right, but Alex started the company as the founder, CEO, on this date. So you can type in the titles of people. I put in the typical titles you expect to see. You probably won't have them, everyone. So if you want, you just delete shit. Like, I don't care. All right, this stuff is cool in the gang. Just delete it if you want. Nothing's linked to text. So you can type in the title like Alex Jarvis. There you go. He's the CEO of the company. And Mary and Susan and Jim and Tan Mandy or whatever the fuck, right? So stick on the date you're hiring them. If you have a hiring plan, you plan hiring people in future. Stick a date in the future when you plan on hiring them. And so when investors say, well, who do you plan on hiring? You say, well, we'll have these people. These are the dates that we're hiring them. Put in the salary that you think you're going to pay them, or the actuals if you have them. If you want to fire someone, I don't know, maybe they're on a contract basis. Type in the date that you plan on firing them, and they won't be there anymore. If you have a bonus, whack that in. Again, it's all baked into this crazy complicated formulas, which took me forever to figure out. If you want to increase the salary, stick it on, stick the date it is. It's for one date. So you can see here, month 3, June, whatever. So it's probably March, April, May, June. So June is where Alex starts getting paid $9,000 a month instead of $7,000 a month because it has a new salary. But you see here, I don't know, Mary stays the same unless I put in a new salary for her, okay, on a certain date. But that's it, okay? And you can do a lot of shit with that depending on what it is you want to do, with just, 6 assumptions, okay? And all the power is in this crazy stuff, right? Now, if you want to add in more people, okay, I've got something like, I don't know, 14 rows or something. Should be enough for a smaller company. If you have loads, don't worry. There's loads more rows to add in more people. Okay, if you want to add in more, you can add in more. It's one of the few places where you're safe to add in more people. Okay, just drag everything down. It's all cool in the gang. So I try to add in automations everywhere I can in the model to make things simpler for you. So here is it for recruiters. See, add recruiters overflow calculation. Right, a little note here. So let's say you start growing really fast. You need to get people. They're not just going to magically turn up. Finding good people is a pain in the ass. So if we need to hire more than 5 people in a month, I need to have a recruiter. And bear in mind, again, notes, right? Once you hire a recruiter, you're going to keep the recruiter. So here in this month, we're going to go from 4 to 10 G&A people. So I need recruiters. I think it's 2 probably. I'm automatically going to calculate how many that I need. Right, so it's 2 increase in staff. Right, see it triggers here 6. Therefore, I need 2 recruiters because it's more than 5, and that means that multiply those 2 people by their salary plus the bonuses plus whatever payroll benefits I need to give them. At this point, now I have recruiters forever. Okay, all the time, because you're not just going to hire and fire recruiters. If you want to have headhunters, you're going to put that in assumptions at expenses at the bottom. But this is the simplest way I can think of about what you do. About you start creating a scenario for how to scale really fast. Okay, so that's the first automation here. Okay, all it is. By the way, not linked to end date. Okay, needed per hire. Hence, as a note, you put in the salary. You can increase the salary and put the increased date or a bonus if you're going to do that. But there's no end date here because you're going to hire them forever once you need them. If you want to fire them, you can do something ghetto, right? Which is not ideal. Just delete the freaking formulas, and therefore there's no cost anymore. But FYI. Okay. The next part, R&D. These are basically nerds who are going to build your product. You are going to have lots of people if you're doing something more fancy, maybe some like crazy shopping app. Otherwise, if you're using a Shopify site, delete all these mofos, and suddenly they're all out of the, on the dole. That's what we call in England when you're on benefits. Look, no expenses. I've just saved you loads of money, worth every dime. Okay, that's it. Again, overflow. If you have more people, just add them in. See the head count, what the monthly cost is. Now, sales and marketing people. There are no automations for this. So you just put in the people that you have or the people you're going to hire in future. So you see here, we're planning to hire people in future. Month 3, we're getting this VP marketing, then 5 junior marketer, and then some SEO person, social media dude, editorial, like whatever you want. Sales and marketing related. Buyers, merchandising, category managers. If you don't have them because you only got 5 SKUs, right? Again, just delete. All right, no biggie, no more costs. You don't need a buying function if you don't have one. Okay. Production, I don't know, like photographers and shit like that. If you're running a huge marketplace like when I set up, you have these people. I have made automations which happen in the expense calc sheets for photographers and photographers' assistants. Okay, assuming that photoshopping is insourced, which is an assumption set in the expense calc sheet somewhere down below. This automatically is going to calculate depending on how many SKUs you're going to add, which are in the SKU sheet right at the top. If you suddenly add lots of SKUs and you're like, say, insourcing it, well, shit, you're going to have to hire photographers to do all the SKUs and do the production, write the content and all that fun stuff, right? Which is not fun, I know. Again, like I've done this before. But this will, if you have a downside scenario, upside scenario, you can suddenly scale this up variably as your need is. And so here, little calculations up, add photographers, multiplies by their salary. See this times by their salary or an increased salary gives you the cost. So here we have one person, 35K, so it's like, 3.4K a month. If you have more, again, the salary gets bigger. Now for customer care, we have customer care agents, which is scaled up. If you have managerial levels, head of customer care, managers, whatever, put in your hiring plan. We're not going to hire anyone for a long time because we're not going to be big for it. I'm going to do it in the meantime, whatever. This again scales up and down the same way as your photographer assistants, etc. do. Now, fulfillment, right? Again, if you're doing your own ops and you're a big company, you'll have head of warehouses, inbounding, outbound, supply chain management, like loads of stuff. Again, for bigger companies. But I will automate the people, the monkeys, who are going to be in the warehouse, dealing with actually shipping everything on time, hopefully. Note that I do accrue bonuses when people have it, because in your P&L, you're going to make a deduction on accrual basis for those bonuses, but in the operating cash flow, you will make deductions at your year end. So we'll be accruing this, but making changes when they need to be happened, okay? And we see total headcount. So there you go, that's your stuff, that's how you fill it in. There are automation parts, and then there's your current and then hiring plan for everyone else. Now we're going to deal with the rest of the costs, which are staff related or just generally. So we have office, we have onboarding, we have travel. We can change it to whatever you want. I don't really care. So we're going to have, I don't know, phones, software, all that kind of shit. So we have all our categories here. How much do you have as a charge per month per person? So this is going to multiply this cost by the people who are in G&A, R&D, S&M buying. So if you have here $160 a month, that means we have 2 people. 2 times 80 equals 160. No one gives a shit about how many pencils you're going to do and that stuff. That's just extraneous detail. No investor cares, or no like logical investor like who's not annoying. Onboarding, this is for one-off, which is why you can see the variable here, because so 4,000 what we're doing. So we've hired 2 people because 8 divided by 4 equals 2. So that's 2 people. Okay, so we need laptops, desks, whatever for 2 people. On average, it's 4. Now, I don't know, at some point you get Google fancy and you want to increase the onboarding cost per person to give them more free shit or something, increase that on the date you want. If you don't, you delete it. See, these numbers change on the specific month. It's all date math, which again is a pain in the ass to do. If you have travel, which right now in Corona land, this is like October 2020, the shittest year of my life. They do that. So you see here, I know customer care ain't going nowhere. They have no costs. You can, call travel, whatever other costs you want. But again, it multiplies the cost. So if you have 2 G&A people and they have a flight to Melbourne once a month or something, cool, it's $200 a month. Again, simples, okay? I'm trying to keep this as simple and outcome orientated, materiality as possible. And then we have whatever shit you have, okay? If you're a tiny company, you care things like incorporation setup. If it's not like, it's like, I don't know, knife fighting monkeys, right? Just change the title, doesn't matter. See, knife fighting monkeys are being categorized as G&A. Okay, I don't know, for some reason, knife fighting monkeys are going to be in the buying department. Just change the category here and set it up. If you need different formulas or something, I don't know, you want to, do this thing, and then we're just going to have manual calculations for everything. We're just going to whack them in like that. You can type in your costs. 500, 900, all right, as it happens. So again, so long as these are categorized right, summations are all good and gang, oopsies, it's all going to get added up into the top, okay? So think this is going to be monthly, this is going to be monthly cost per staff per category. This is onboarding one-off, which is why, right? If you have no onboarding cost because all these fuckers can buy their own shit, like people do these days, bring your own device, yay. There's no cost, you just delete them, not there anymore. Awesome, right? We have the various, and then we have summations, and I have charts and shit, and this gray stuff just basically is the calculations. Like, yes, I occasionally mess things up, especially if I'm not paying attention or something. If the title's wrong here, like you just change the stuff here, like knife fighting monkeys. The title changes, okay? So that is the staff sheet. You can do quite a lot in it. You can be as nerdy detailed as you want. You can give allowances of bonuses and all these things as you want. But I've really tried to give you as much control as you want but also by including automation, so you don't have to think about what happens if you decide to keep scaling up or down as you work through different cases. You have a lot of control on this. This is going to be one of the largest costs in your business, other than the costs that are going to be coming in marketing sheets, well, probably from paid marketing, right? So do take time to fill it in. So the next video we'll be doing is we're going through the expense calcs. I've put everything in one sheet just so there's not like tons of sheets, right? And this is going to be the automations of the staff, and then like your tech costs, your email costs. We've got photographies and stuff here, but like deliveries, all that good stuff. But that's going to be the next video. So if you're excited to get into that now, let's do the next video. Bye.